Magandang araw sa inyong lahat at ako muli si John Dexter Buscado from BSCE1F at today ay meron naman tayong bagong topic mula sa video ulit ni Sir Erich. So, ang topic natin for today ay friction. So, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Meron na naman tayong bagong topic. So, ang ating topic for this video ay tungkol naman sa frictions pero same lesson pa rin, which is yung dynamics. So, hango muli ito sa video ni Sir Erich, and para magsimula, basahin na natin yung ating problem. So, a crate with a mass of 9.5 kg rests on a horizontal floor. So, horizontal floor daw, nagre-rest siya sa horizontal floor. The coefficient of static friction and kinetic friction is 0.38 and 0.31 respectively. So, find the frictional force and the acceleration acting on the crate if a horizontal applied force is exerted on it of magnitude letter A, 0 Newton, letter B, 15 Newton, letter C, 35 Newton, and for letter D, 55 Newton. So, to solve for this problem, so as usual, ang una natin gagawin, visualize natin. Let's create an illustration of the objects in our problem or in our situation. Then, let's construct a free body diagram for us to easily understand what are the forces acting in the object in our problem. So, yan. So, kung ito-drawing natin yung ating crate, meron daw tayo isang crate na tinutulak ng ating force na applied force. Ayan. Ating force, meron daw applied force na nag-a-act sa kanya. Ayan, ito yung crate. Yan. Tapos, yung ating crate, meron ding weight. Merong weight yan. And yung floor ay nag-exert ng force. Upward force is our normal force. And dito, yung friction force na matatagpuan natin sa ating floor. So, for our free body diagram, let's assume na ito yung ating object. Gawin na lang natin siyang dot. And for the positive y, meron tayong normal force lying on the positive y-axis. For the positive horizontal or x-axis natin, meron tayong friction force. Friction force. FFR. Ayan, sorry. FFR. Yan. Ganun natin sinusulat yung ating friction force. And para sa applied force, going to the left, lying on the negative x-axis, applied force, FA, and yung weight ng ating crate, which is lying siya sa negative y-axis. So, yan na yung ating free body diagram. Identify na natin yung forces acting on our object. And alam na rin natin kung ano yung direction niya. So, alam na natin kung ano ba yung signs niya. Kung negative ba siya, positive ba siya? So, pwede na tayo mag-proceed sa ating solving. So, ayan, tandaan natin yan. So, ayan, to solve for our normal force or yung Fn natin, summation of forces along the y is equals to mass multiply sa acceleration along the y, and 0 lang din yan. Since wala naman tayong motion along the y, 0 yan. And summation of forces along the y is equals to ano ba yung forces na meron sa atin? Hinahanap natin yung Fn at meron tayong given na weight. So yan, 0 nga din yan kasi nga wala tayong motion sa ating y. So to solve for the normal force, lipat natin yung ating W sa kabila. Magiging positive yan. So Fn is equals to weight. And yung weight, kung matatandaan natin, weight is equals to mass times gravity. So meron tayong given na mass sa ating problem, which is 9.5 kg. So ayan, substituting the values, mass times gravity, 9.5 kilograms. 9.5 kilograms multiply sa gravity, 9.81 meters per second squared. And pag pinag-multiply natin yan, yung mga unit na yan, Newton ang kalalabasan. Fn, since Fn is equals to our weight, so yung makukuha nating weight, wag muna. So, ayan, pag pinag-multiply natin, Newton yung kalalabasan, and by calculating, ang makukuha nating weight ay 93.20 Newton. And since Fn is equals to W, and our W is 93.20 Newton. So, our Fn, or our normal force, is equals to 93.20 din. So, pwede na natin isolve yung ating force of friction dahil nakuha na natin yung ating normal force, which is yung 93.20 Newton. So, para na sa ating pagsasolve sa ating friction, so ang gagamitin muna natin is yung ating static friction. Force of friction is equals to mu sub S, which is yung ating static friction, multiply sa ating normal force. So, given the values that we have, meron tayong 0.38 static friction, multiply sa nakuha nating normal force, 93.20 Newton. At ang makukuha nating sagot ay force of friction is equals to 35.42 Newton. And kung matatandaan natin, for our letter A, ang applied force natin ay 0. So, mapapansin natin ang force of friction natin ay mas mataas sa ating applied force. Therefore, walang mangyayaring motion kasi mas mataas yung friction sa applied force natin. So, to solve for the final friction, summation of forces is equals to mass, acceleration, and since 0 nga yung ating acceleration, 0 na yan. So, summation of forces along the x. Force of friction, positive, kasi nga, papunta siya sa right, minus ating applied force, Fa, which is 0 nga din, 0 yung value. 0 din yan. So, 0 na rin yung ating final friction. So, that's it for our letter A. So, for letter B naman, gagamitin pa rin natin na basehan yung ating nakuha kanina na static friction, which is yung 35.42 Newton. Ating static friction na nakuha kanina. So, to solve for the friction for letter B, we have the given 50 Newton applied force. So, makikita natin, mas mataas pa rin yung ating friction compare sa ating applied force. So, ang acceleration pa rin natin ay 0. And by Newton's second law of motion, summation of forces ang dx, force of friction minus force applied, and our force of friction will be 15 Newton. So, yun na para sa ating letter B. For letter C naman, ganun pa rin. Gawin pa rin nating basihan yung ating static friction na nakuha. So, mapapansin natin ang ating given na force applied for letter B ay 35 lang. Mas mataas pa rin yung ating static friction. Therefore, our acceleration will be 0 again. And same process, summation of forces around the x equals to force friction minus applied force 0. Therefore, our force of friction, di ba, lilipat natin yan. So, yung value ng ating applied force, yun na rin yung magiging sagot natin. So, 35 Newton, yung ating force of friction. For letter C. So, para naman sa letter D, meron tayong given value na applied force 55 Newton. And kung mapapansin natin sa nakuha nga natin kanina na value ng friction, which is yung sa static friction natin, 35.42 Newton, mas malaki na yung ating applied force. So, magkakaroon na tayo ng motion, and ang gagamitin na natin ngayon is yung ating kinetic friction, which is yung force of friction is equals to mu sub k multiply sa ating normal force. And by substituting the values that we have, so ayan, yung ating friction. And by substituting the values that we have, 0.31 for mu sub k, and yung ating normal force, which is yung nakuha natin kanina, 93.20 Newton. So ayan, pag pinag-multiply natin yan, force of friction natin is equals to 29.892 Newton. Hanapin natin ngayon is yung ating acceleration. So, ayan. Summation of forces, mass multiply sa acceleration. So, yun na lang din naman yun. Mass multiply sa acceleration is equals to force of friction minus force applied. Same lang yan, ha? Equal yan, yo. Summation of forces is equals to mass times acceleration. So, ayan. Pinalitan lang natin to neto. Yan. And, ang hinahanap sa atin is yung acceleration. So, para malaman yon, kailangan maiwan yung ating letter A. So, we divide both side by letter M so that we can cancel this letter M from this side. So, ayan. Acceleration is equals to force of friction minus force applied over mass. And by substituting the values that we have, so, meron tayong ano ba yung ating? Meron tayong force of friction na ito nga. 29.892 Newton A. Purahin ko na to, ha. Ayan. So, lipat pala natin para mas may space. So, yun. A is equal to ating force of friction which is ito nga. 29.892 Newton minus our applied force which is ito. 55 Newton over sa ating mass which is 95 kilograms given yun sa ating problem 95 kilograms and by calculating minus then divide Newton kilogram ang makukuha natin is meters per second kasi nga sa Newton balikan lang natin ulit sa Newton meron tayong kg multiply sa meters per second squared. Since kg yung nasa denominator natin, makakancel yung kg dito from our Newton, and ang matitirang unit is yung meters per second squared. So, our acceleration, which is yun nga, unit ng acceleration is meters per second squared. So, malalaman natin na nasa tamang direction tayo ngayon. And by calculating, subtract, then divide, ang makukuha natin sagot ay negative 2.643 meters per second squared. So, malalaman natin ngayon na yung acceleration ng crate ay papunta sa left since negative siya. So, yun. Pwede rin naman, isulat natin yun ng ganyan. Aalisin natin yung negative sign. Ayan, wala nang negative sign. Pero, lalabelan natin yan na going to the left. Ayan, para mas malinaw. So, yun lang para sa ating topic na friction at sana ay natuto kayo. Maraming salamat!